Name something that can kill a lively party.
This is Chernobyl. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. Chernobyl was 1/3 the size of any of the reactors in Japan. And Chernobyl was a 30% meltdown. This is what's called an elephant foot, but it's actually the most deadly thing we know about in our solar system. And if I was really here, this would kill me in a couple of seconds at best. And that would be from X-rays and neutron bombardments, gamma shines. So they can't get in here for thousands of years to even try to fix this. How are they going to fix Fukushima with 3 melted reactors? Japan's government has been raising the limit repeatedly. But this is Tokyo, where 2,000 times their newest limits has been found. This is in Tokyo. So Japan had a real event, and they're killing their population, and lying to it, they're killing the Pacific Ocean on top of this, with these same lies that it's harmless, and that it's innocent, that it's like a banana or a potato chip or walking in the sunshine. And there's nobody out there in the academic communities to hold them accountable. There's nobody in the media to hold them accountable. There's nobody in government that will hold these people accountable. There's nobody we know on the planet is even capable of holding these people accountable. But if you took the population, we can hold these people accountable. And do this planet need that opportunity? Should we hold TEPCO accountable? Are these questions we need to ask ourselves? If it is, we're no longer a civilization. There is 6 times more breast cancer around these nuclear power plants within 15 miles. There's at least double leukemia for children if you're within 15 miles of a nuclear power plant. But if you went out to 100 miles, you would find that the same thing is applicable. But cancer is the last one to show up. There's 1,800 diseases show up before cancer. This is how they deceive you. This is how they trick you. Why did they have to build that in the community when they're going to be releasing radioactive material constantly? And they know that. Why would they do that to you? This is a map produced by the American FBI in the early 90s showing that if Russia was to attack America, this is what the radioactive fallout would look like. And this is a map of 3 or more of the fallout from actual testing. So each one of these streaks meant there was at least 3 fallouts with the wind in that direction. 3 different tests. So they done all of this because the Ruskies might do this. These are the fuel rods throughout your country in tons. It's hemorrhaging into each of these areas heavily. They can't contain it. You can't keep it in a containment because of the noble gases. And then a pound of this will kill 1,500 people in about 20 minutes if they were in, say, a theater. But that same pound will do that every 20 minutes for our infinities. For millions of years, it's a single pound. This is in tons. It's not like a banana. It's not like a potato chip. It's not like walking in sunshine. So why did they tell you that? And so that would explain why they're building places like this, crisis centers about nuclear, over in Asia and Vietnam. Because they know they're going to have an accident. They know it's going to be a catastrophic event. They know it's not like a potato chip. They're not pretending it's like a banana. They're building a crisis center because they know if they have an accident, it's game over. A good parable for nuclear is it's a big monster and it consumes everything to stay alive. It doesn't give you anything back and it squats everything that it sees or gets in its way. It destroys life as we know it, and the increases of cancer just around a nuclear power plant are shocking, are disgusting and despicable. They can't exist without constantly being bailed out. Every aspect of it is a money loser. The only way that they got this far was they told you it was like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine. They don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you the reality. If they did, you would be in the streets at war with the nuclear industry, I can assure you. Why would they want to bury nuclear waste near the biggest drinking water reservoir in North America, right alongside of it? Not miles and miles away, but right smack alongside of it. Because radiation is so dangerous, in the long run they need it to go into the ocean or into a river or a lake. That's their theory of dealing with it. But their charters were they were going to lock it up and put it in a sarcophagus and protect it for millions of years. But no, we'll just bury it in a big hole alongside of all the drinking water for 40 or 50 million people. This is murderous. This is maniacal. This is crazy. These people are out of control, and you are at the other end of that control. You are the victims. Egypt is going to lose $200 billion. So how could nuclear make any profit when it loses money like that for delays? But somebody got that money. Somebody's going to get that money. This is what nuclear is all. It's not about clean energy. You can't get clean energy from nuclear. You got to dig up mountains. You got to use container ships of chemicals just to get the uranium ready for the nuclear chain reaction. Then you got nowhere to put it for thousands and millions of years. France was going to lose $80 billion if they don't go through with their contracts on time. How can nuclear be a profitable industry? How can nuclear even be reasonable when these types of things are constant? Billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they still can't get it to work. Big surprise, yeah? Would you lie about nuclear if you knew that $1 trillion was going to come into your pocket too? Would you lie about nuclear if it meant that you can get a big fancy house and a car and a prestigious job and everybody would think you were a superstar and a hero? Yeah? Is that even sensible when you can't, you got so many people in your country starving, you got the whole system is falling apart. You can find tons of money for nuclear to kill each other completely forever, to end everything on the planet. We got money for that. Oh yeah, baby, we got money for that. Japan can't develop renewables because they spend all their money trying to get their power plants open, and they're looting the system at the same time. The government, the taxpayers are paying for everything. TEPCO ain't got nothing. They've been bailed out and bailed out and bailed out. They should have been arrested and put in jail and hung out. This story, you got the crazies backing up the crazies to do the crazy. These people, by definition, are crazy. They ignore the population. Oh, well, we'll go talk to the foreign nuclear crazies, and they'll say it's okay, therefore we can go ahead and do it. This is a corporation. If you were born in the 50s, you're radioactive. If you weren't, you're still radioactive because of Fukushima. So the radiation they're talking about is not the natural stuff, is it? They're talking about the stuff from the testing, from the bomb explosion, from satellites blowing up on the way up. They're not talking about bananas and potato chips. Yet nuclear is pitched as being green. You got, they want to bury it alongside the Great Lakes because they don't know what to do with it. They're dumping it into the ocean. They can't decommission Fukushima. They got to put sarcophagus on Chernobyl for the next 3,000 years. 3 million children in Ukraine and Belarus with permanent disabilities, according to Kofi Annan 2000 at United Nations podium. But no, it's green, Dana. This is insane. These people are unbelievably nightmarish. This is what journalism has become. They're not even going to tell the story. They're not going to try to help anybody. They just want to get the clicks. It's all about clickbait. And the bait is you. It's about deceiving you, manipulating you, and tricking you. TEPCO got £1 billion. They're burning it in incinerators. This is unbelievable. Each one of these kilograms is a dirty bomb. As if that's not bad enough, Fukushima power plant, the meltdowns, they're burning that stuff in their incinerators. And now we understand there's over 300 times more radiation released than what they tell us. This is a corporation wrecking this planet. It's unbelievable. There's nobody to hold them accountable. This is what nuclear scientists are doing to you. They're blindfolding you and they're telling you to go out and pin that on the donkey's arse. And what is he going to do? He's going to brutalize you. He's going to kick you and drive you back and you'll never get up again. That's what nuclear is. Japan is always dumping it into the ocean, into the rivers, into the estuaries. It's constantly hemorrhaging underneath the power plants. That's why they built the ice wall, which is stupid. It's $500 million when they should build a real wall. Not that that would help, because you have liquefaction, all the isotopes rises up to the surface, you lose the site. You'll lose that site if that worked, that ice wall. But why would you build an ice wall? Only because the taxpayers paid for that. If they built a real wall, they had to pay for it. But no, what they want to do is dispose of it in the ocean. They're burning it in the incinerators right across the country on top of everything else. This is workers on the roof of Chernobyl, a Masha reactor. They named them after women for some reason. But they can only spend 25 to 30 seconds here, and then they go home and never go to a nuclear power plant again. The majority of these people, these particular workers, would have died shortly after. You're talking about, you're walking around in nuclear waste. There's no way you're going to survive it, not even with that 25-second exposure. This is the history of nuclear. This is what's happening in Japan right now. But it's homeless and the destitute and the immigrants. This is Hiroshima. The people that survived this weren't treated for inhalation, for ingestion, for drinking the radiation, for eating the radiation. The 40,000-foot dust that was over Hiroshima, that was radioactive fallout. You're breathing it in, it's in your food, it's in your water, it's throughout the whole country. It wasn't just Hiroshima where the victims ultimately would have showed up. It would have been within 1,000 square miles. Just imagine if you got a company in your community and it's got 4 buildings. They blow up and they create 30 million one-ton bags of material you can't get rid of that kill everything around it. And that is only meant to last a year or two before the bags break down and this stuff is back in the environment. How is nuclear in any shape or form clean, green, or carbon-free? How does that work? Are people really that gullible? But apparently so, but it's only because your media insist on telling you lie after lie after lie instead of the reality. So when people see this headline, very high concentration of hot particles over the Pacific Northwest, including plutonium and americium, they have a hard time wrapping their mind around it. So maybe this will help you understand. 1,500 atoms per cubic meter of space around you. And so the average person in California was getting 360 particles in them, breathing that in each day. That's an event, and a real bad one.
So that's how the system works. Don't think it's an accident at all.
And in a surprise announcement this morning, U.S. Deputy Surgeon General Greg Paulson stated that, quote, "It's fine to smoke cigarettes if you only smoke while drinking."